what's fascinating to me about this, if you're familiar with Star Trek or not familiar with Star Trek, Kobiyashi Maru was brought up in Star Trek 2 way back in 1982. And it's the test that Kirk takes to be a captain of a starship. The whole idea of the Kobayashi Maru test was it's supposed to be a test of character. How do you hold up when the odds are overwhelming to the point where you either have to surrender, die trying, or run as fast as you can to get away? Kirk, of course, didn't believe in the no-win scenario, so he changes the conditions of the tests so that he can win the engagement. As a child of the 80s, I feel like, and I don't want to make it a generational thing, but I think for me anyway, if I'm understanding what happened, if everything is true, the worst thing Connor did was watch a football game 3.5 hours before he was supposed to. It's not like he stole playbooks. It's not like he broke into anybody's office. He just watched a game 3.5 hours before he was supposed to. When this whole thing broke, we had people saying that Connor Stalions had desecrated the sport of football. And immediately we found out this is legal in high school. In fact, I even found out that there are some high school leagues that actually encourage coaches to send somebody to other games to video them. It's legal in the NFL. There are guys who are specifically hired to do that. So if
they're
it's
given
legal,
a spot at the stadiums.
Right. If it's legal in these other areas, how could you be desecrating the sport? Now, it's not the advantage that was gained. It's the fact that the rule was broken. And I get that. But by the same token, the rule is dumb. And so I kind of made this correlation today between Connor Stalions and Captain Kirk. They saw a dumb rule and went over the top to expose the dumb rule. And this was the result. Now, obviously, in Star Trek, Kirk goes on to be a captain and all that. In the real world, you end up getting investigated by the NCAA. To me, that's kind of how it feels. So when Connor puts out these tweets and acts very confidently or arrogantly and all that, I kind of smile because in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, like Captain Kirk.
Nerd.
I know. But I understand the fatigue, though. It's just that's why this is interesting to me as it goes on, how Connor is responding to it. I would like it to be over as much as anybody else. And I don't know what's going to happen. I guess I'm not as worried about it because a lot of people I trust are saying it's probably not going to amount to anything. But who knows? Nobody knows what the NCAA is going to do. It might be that Michigan is about to get hammered, but then I don't understand how they're doing so well in recruiting if all of these recruits with their agents are telling them you're going to be at Michigan for about 3 months before the whole program goes under. That seems silly. So just all of this sort of real world events kind of betrays the fact that they would be getting the hammer. But having said all of that, I think what we see in some groups is that every rule has to be obeyed specifically and perfectly or else things are bad. And for my generation, it was we obey the rules, but sometimes rules are dumb and they need to be exposed.